All right, 8 p.m. live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night, November 12th. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Slick's going to do some sports. Rick Delgado's got the news. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. I only hear one ear here. Mr. Delgado, how are you?
I am good. Welcome to a Tuesday night. It was a pizza day for me. I bet you didn't know that. Pizza Tuesday all day.
Really? How would we know that?
I don't know.
Why was it Tuesday?
I don't know. I had a hankering for pizza for lunch, so I grabbed a nice meat lover slice at the local place near work.
So not what we normally get on Fridays.
No, I had a slice today too. Come to think of it, yeah, about 2 hours ago. Yep.
And I had 2 more tonight for dinner, and some garlic nuts. The only thing missing was breakfast pizza, which they do sell, by the way. They do have breakfast pizza. It's just too far away for me to go get it. Bet you didn't know that, did you?
Questioning this whole asking you every night as we start the show how your day was. The answers keep getting more.
What?
Well, no, I don't know.
There is such thing as breakfast pizza. Look it up.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Slick, you had pizza today too.
I did.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever have breakfast pizza?
No.
Okay.
I did not have that.
Of course not.
No.
Of course not, because you have an IQ higher than, 6. So.
Are you talking about my IQ or my age?
Well, both.
Well,
how you act. Yes.
You're on par on both.
Bingo.
Yeah, come on.
Bingo, right out there. Oh, man, what a night here. How about the last hour?
Holy moly.
Holy moly is right, man.
A lot of movement.
They just keep coming. They just keep firing away. What a day. Man, some real absolute stunners. Let's just start with the biggest one. How about the upgrade from, the guy that runs that outfit over there to Pete Hegseth over at the fence? Hello.
Yeah, that one I didn't see coming at all.
Raise your hand if you had that on your bingo card.
No.
Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense. Yes, that Pete Hegseth. Absolute patriot, warrior. And man, what an upgrade. What an upgrade. All you're going to see all night from haters, even on our own side, the haters. Oh, this is an indefensible pick, and he's not qualified, and he's a TV guy, and he's this, and he's that. Yeah, given the rot we've seen at the DOD lately, the dumpster fire that is the DOD, the contagion we've seen at the DOD, the absolute fraud, abuse, and waste we've seen at the DOD, picking somebody, quote unquote, qualified to fit everybody's what they all have in their head that it has to be, would be picking someone who's the status quo. I'll take Pete Hegseth any day of the week. Given his mantra, his history, his dedication to the country, his service to the country, I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, I had no idea it was a Harvard grad. To kind of put it on top, because I've only seen him on TV, and of course know about his military background. But there's a lot more to this guy that you don't realize.
Picking anybody who's quote unquote qualified is picking somebody who's part of the damn problem. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, given what we've seen over there.
Well, because their version or their what they consider qualified is, all right, who do you know? Basically, because they all wash each other's watch each other's back. Washing each other's back kind of weird, but
let's put it into. Let's put it into.
Say, yeah. I think you're washing each other's what? I didn't know what you were going to say.
Let's put it into picture form. Biden's the guy who runs that outfit over there, as opposed to Trump's Secretary of Defense. Let's put it into picture form. There you go. There's the two of them. Now you tell me which one you want.
Whoa.
Which one is Pete?
Or woke. Wow.
Yeah.
No brainer.
That's the upgrade you're getting at defense with Pete Hegseth. And I don't need to hear from anybody. Thanks, Aaron. I don't need to hear anything about. Oh well, we got to have a general. We got to have this. We got to have that. Has anyone been paying attention to what's been going on there lately?
Yeah. especially when you talk about these generals that have been there, and and who was it? Was it Mike Benz that I heard talking about this? And I think we may have played the clip where it was either him or the other Mike Davis, where they were talking about. No, I think it was Benz. That these guys, these generals, they expect to walk into a room and everybody kiss their butt.
Yeah.
And when they suggest something, everybody goes yes, 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 and they get to do whatever they want.
Right. You've attained swamp creature status.
Yeah.
And you're proficient at basically sucking up, kissing ass, and you go to your yearly Raytheon parties and fundraisers. And Pete Hegseth is going to do none of that. He's not going to be loyal to any of those people, not tied to any of that. He's going to be loyal to one person, and that's the commander-in-chief, as he's used to doing as someone who served the country. So, I mean, just to save this is an indefensible pick, and he's not qualified, and he's not this. That's exactly that. He's overqualified, given what we've seen over there.
His military awards include a Bronze Star, Army Commendation, 2 times National Defense Service Medal, Afghanistan Campaign Medal, Iraq Campaign Medal, Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, Expert Infantry Badge. And that's just some of the awards and decorations that he has in his background. He's written some books. Like I said, the military background. He's run for office, U.S. Senate campaign in 2012, and he's been a staunch supporter of the military through all that time. So he's one that's been fighting for the rights of military and for the veterans. I think for a while Trump was considering putting him in charge of veteran affairs in his first administration. So,
I think people thought he was thinking about him for this administration. And then bam, Here comes this. He says, I'm honored to announce that I've nominated Pete Hegseth to serve in my cabinet as the Secretary of Defense. Pete has spent his entire life as a warrior for the troops and for the country. Pete is tough, smart, and a true believer in America first. With Pete at the helm, America's enemy on notice. Our military will be great again, and America will never back down. Pete is a graduate of Princeton University. You said Harvard. Has a graduate degree from Harvard University. He is an Army combat veteran who did tours in Guantanamo Bay, Iraq, and Afghanistan. For his actions on the battlefield, he was decorated with 2 Bronze Stars, as well as a Combat Infantryman's badge. Pete has been a host at Fox News for 8 years, where he used that platform to fight for our military and veterans. Pete's recent book, The War on Warriors, spent 9 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list, including 2 weeks at number 1. The book reveals the left-wing betrayal of our warriors and how we must return our military to meritocracy, lethality, accountability, and excellence. Pete also has led 2 veterans advocacy organizations, leading the fight for our warriors and the great veterans. Nobody fights harder for the troops, and Pete will be courageous and patriotic champion for our peace through strength policy. So, wow. That one was that one was a wow.
Right. I don't even think we even talked about anybody for Secretary of Defense. We've been focused on some of these other ones.
Yeah. I didn't think about that outfit over there.
That's because it's all the way over there. Who thinks about it?
God, remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he standing in the room with Biden?
Oh, yeah.
I think he was, right?
Yep.
Biden said, we got the guy over here who runs that outfit over there, or whatever he said. Yep. Oh, my God.
He still doesn't know his name.
By the way, I mean, I wasn't planning on jumping to this right away, but this could be, if it wasn't so short. Here's Biden today, sitting with, I forget who he's even sitting with, somebody, and Biden gets asked this question. Listen to this. Okay, maybe you could listen to it if I actually gave you the sound.
I could hear it here in the studio.
Yeah, here we go.
President Biden, do you think that you can cut a hostage deal by the end of your term?
I think you can keep from getting hit in the head by a camera behind.
Do you think you can keep from getting hit in the head with that camera behind you? Is his answer.
What a wise.
President Biden, do you think that you can cut a hostage deal by the end of your term?
I think you can keep from getting hit in the head by a camera behind you. All right.
Wow.
Thank you all. Promise.
Does anybody have any idea what the hell that means?
He's kind of being a D-bag.
He's just being a jerk. Yeah.
Right? Because he didn't like the he knew the answer to the question was, of course not. Why would you ask me that question? I can't do anything. But he can't say that
Because I've done nothing all these years.
Exactly.
Do you think you can keep from getting hit in the head with the camera behind you? What? But I mean, why not just say, well, I can't discuss it right now. I'm not going to discuss it while we are ongoing negotiations. Why would you go to that?
That's the kind of person he is.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly the kind of person he is.
Exactly. He is so, again.
It made me think of when he was
the smartest guy.
Remember when he was getting interviewed from that African American on one of those local news stations, and he said, "You want to take a drug? You want to take a?" He said something to him like, "You want to take a? You want to take a drug test?" Or he said,
"Right?
You want to take a something test, pal?" Remember?
Yep.
It was exactly that kind of moment.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? What? It just you go, what? That's your response?
Yep.
You think you can keep from getting hit in the head from that camera behind you?
Yeah.
On a question of, do you think you can get a hostage deal before the end of your term?
I would think that's a serious question, right?
Of course it's a serious question.
They've been hostages for well over a year. He's talked about, we're talking, we're going to try and end this, get the hostages back. Okay, do you think you can get it done?
Do you think you can get hit in the head from that camera behind you?
Wow. Talk about insecure. Just insecure. Just a
mean, vile old, man, oh man.
A canoe, I believe.
Man, unbelievable. So, well, let's recap. We talked about Pete Hegseth, but that wasn't the only thing we got tonight.
No.
So Kristi Noem was officially put out by the president for the Department of Homeland Security. So we talked about that last night. That was official about 10 minutes ago. Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense. Also tonight, we found out that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are going to team up to head of the Department of Government Efficiency.
Wow.
That's and for short, we're going to call it Doge.
I saw that too.
How's Doge doing right now? Has anyone checked? It's probably flying.
Let me.
I don't own any Doge.
I do, and it's been. It's been on quite a run.
Yeah,
I'm sure Elon told him that's what he wants it to be called.
Oh yeah, it's up pretty strong.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll bet it is.
It's up. Only 5% today.
Okay.
So when you add the last few days, it's making a nice run.
Yeah, well, everything is. So Vivek and Elon are going to see the Department of Government Efficiency and torch this baby down to the ground. And John Ratcliffe at CIA.
Yeah.
We knew John Ratcliffe was going to end up somewhere. He's too good not to. Bill McGinley is going to go back White House counsel. Love that. Steve Witkoff, special envoy to the Middle East. We know Susie Wiles, Stephen Miller, Tom Homan, Mike Waltz.
Oh, Mike Waltz is causing Rachel Maddow to have a meltdown.
Oh, yeah.
See that?
Another former Green Beret, kick-ass patriot. Lee Zeldin, Elise Stefanik, and today Mike Huckabee, ambassador to Israel. How good is that?
Yeah.
Team is starting to take shape. Still waiting for the big one. Attorney General, FBI Director. Who's it going to be? We'll see what happens in the next couple hours. We'll do sports news, and we'll bring it all to you as we get it. Live from Studio 6B. We're back right after this. Threat to democracy? ? Nope. To the threat to the bureaucracy. He tweeted, "The merch is going to be fire." That is too funny. Department of Government Efficiency, the merch will be into fire emojis, Elon tweeted. Crazy.
That's pretty funny.
Uh-oh. I think Joy Reid got mention of Pete Hegseth. Oh. Let's see here. Let's throw this up, Aaron.
Sorry, oh God. Joining me, I'm so sorry, oh God. Joining me now is David Jolly, who served in the House of Representatives as a Republican, but for some reason we can never figure out that we've been trying for years. It's no longer affiliated. No longer affiliated with them. I'm sorry.
You just saw a lot. What are the main reasons? You just saw a lot.
I'm so embarrassed. The whole world can see us, David. They can see us. They can see us. stand there like,
They all
what
fall in line. They all fall in line, Joy. Eventually, they all
She got
fall
a
in
little
line.
bit of Hunter stash there.
There you go.
What is
that's
she
her,
on?
That's her reaction to Pete Hegseth.
Oh, okay.
That's her reaction to Pete Hegseth. What a vile human she is. What the hell has she ever done for this country? Nothing.
There's a chance to course correct it, but it would take a new Trump administration going after it really hard.
How would they correct it?
Well, first of all, you got to fire. You got to fire the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and you got to fire this. I mean, obviously, you're going to bring in a new Secretary of Defense, but any general that was involved, general, admiral, whatever that was involved in any of the DEI woke shit, it's got to go. Either you're in for war fighting, and that's it, and that's the only litmus test we care about. You got to get DEI and CRT out of military academies, so you're not training young officers to be baptized in this type of thinking. And then, whatever the standards, whatever the combat standards were, say, in, 1995, let's just make those the standards. And as far as recruiting, to hire the guy that, did Top Gun Maverick and create some real ads that motivate people to want to serve. And there's lots of other ways in which you could identify who gets promoted and what, but there's an ethos change. I mean, there's a reason people don't want to serve, because they don't trust that their senior leaders are going to have their best interest in mind in combat. I know.
17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night. Boy, social media is ablaze tonight with some of these appointments. Some of the memes and stuff are hysterical. I'm reminded, I'm going to have to go back and watch Pete Hegseth when he was on Sean Ryan's show. I just was listening to about a minute of one clip. And man, Pete, I mean, he's no joke. We also saw Joy Reid's reaction on air to Pete Hegseth. Of course, the Fox host, the TV guy, just literally laughing out loud, unable to even get it together as she welcomed her guest on, just making it like this is some big joke. I mean, what the hell's she ever done for the country other than look like a jackass every night at 8 o'clock? Nothing. What has she ever done for the country? Nothing. What has she ever put on the line for the country? Nothing. She hates the country. She hates the people in the country. Most of them. That's why the whole damn place over there is going to be a fire sale pretty soon. And over at CNN. Because of people like her. It's a joke. Laughing hysterically at Pete Hegseth. What the hell has she ever done? Sits there in her ivory tower. Guy who went to war multiple times, put everything on the line. You sit there and laugh at the guy? What a jerk. Her ass should get fired along with the whole dumpster fire over there. Get rid of all of them. Close the place down. Close it down. Just do what Elon and Vivek are going to do to the government, the spending issues. Just shut it down. Shut the whole thing down. Start over. Sell it. Start over. Maybe the Zen Master should think about picking it up. Maybe not. The hell's it worth? Nothing. There's no talent over there.
Nope.
What are you going to get out of it? Nothing.
No viewers.
No viewers.
That's for sure.
Do you see the numbers that they're showing?
Oh, my God.
50, 60% loss of viewership on some of these people.
Comcast is finally reached its limit of what they're willing to accept as watchable TV. I guess we've been asking for all these years. I asked last night. I think we played a clip of that moron Reid, and I said, how do they keep allowing this to pass as acceptable television? Well, maybe they're finally waking up. CNN too. The numbers over there are a total disaster. They're looking to unleash sweeping layoffs after the Trump election. Just see some of the numbers. Well, first of all, just with Brian Stetler gone, they'll save on the donut. Whatever the budget is for that in the green room, that'll be a big savings right there. So, but my God, some of the numbers these people over there who are unwatchable make is crazy. All right, let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell, MyPillow. LFS6B is the code to use. Slick's got it. What's going on?
All right, Big D, let's get right to it. We got a couple of scores here. NCAA men's basketball. Number 1, Kansas in action tonight. The Jayhawks leading Michigan State 58-55. 6 minutes to go there in the second half. South Carolina over Towson, 53-33, 15 to go there in the second half as well. Georgia, the Dogs over North Florida, 57-41. That's also early in the second half. Keep you up to date on some of the other scores. NHL action, Rangers in the Garden tied the Winnipeg Jets with a late score in the first period, 1-1, but the Jets just scored right now and went up 2-1 with 11:02 to go in the second period. And the Senators, 3-0 over the Maple Leafs, 12 to go there in the second. End of one. Devils over the Panthers, 1-0 down in Florida. And we have the Bruins and Blues tied at 0. No score there, actually. 14:52 to go. Islanders taking on the Oilers out in Edmonton. 9 p.m. puck drop. Flames visit the Canucks in Vancouver. That's at 10 p.m. As is Blue Jackets out in Seattle taking on the Kraken. NBA action. Joel Embiid, his first game back since being out for forever. They trail the Knicks right now 40-38 and a good one down in Philly. 6 minutes to go there in the second quarter, 40-38. Knicks with the lead. The Raptors trail the Bucks 14-7. It's just underway, 7 to go there in the first quarter. And at the half, the Celtics in the Boston TD Garden there, 65-54 over the Hawks. And Charlene Bound said, "How about those Cavs?" In the she's talking to me in the YouTube chat, Big D, saying, "How about those Cavs?" Cleveland Cavaliers, best team in the NBA right now, looking good, playing good ball. So we'll keep an eye on their scores as well as the season progresses. And quick story, well, we'll go to a couple of stories here. We got Fox News here reporting, and some sad news in the football world. John Robinson, USC football and Rams head coach, the great, died at 89 years old last night. USC says College Football Hall of Famer died of pneumonia. Ryan Gatos of Fox News. John Robinson, a USC football coaching legend who was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 2018, has died. The school announced on Monday he was 89. Must have been after we were on air, because I didn't see it last night. USC said Robinson died from complications of pneumonia. Robinson of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, attended high school with John Madden and played at Oregon as a tight end, where he was a member of the 1958 Rose Bowl team. He got his coaching start with the Ducks as an assistant. He was with the program from 1960 to 71. He moved to take the offensive coordinator job at USC. He was with the Trojans for 3 seasons before joining the Oakland Raiders staff under Madden as the running backs coach. The Raiders went on to win the AFC Championship before losing to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That must have been the Immaculate Reception year. The next few years would be the most successful of Robinson's career. From 76 to 97, he had 2 stints as the head coach at USC and of the Los Angeles Rams in the NFL. Robinson, who took over for the Rams in 83 as he replaced Ray Malavasi, he took a 2-7 team and improved it to 9-7 in his first season. He guided the Rams to the playoffs in 6 of his first 7 seasons. The team made it to the 2 NFC championships, but never to the Super Bowl. He was 75-68 from 83 to 91. So great John Robinson, big man in Southern California football, passes away, 89 years old, unfortunately, to the complications of pneumonia. So that's some sad news in the sports world, Big D. And that's a wrap in sports. Got some other stories coming up in the next segment, including a little rodeo. Get you updated in the rodeo. And back to you, Big D.
All right, Slick, very good. 23 past the hour. Let's do some news. And here with that is Rick Delgado. What's going on, Delgado?
Right. Well, of some of the picks, of course, that we've gone through, Kristi Noem as the choice for the DHS secretary. Bill McKinley, White House counsel.
Yep.
Looks like he's going to be moving into that position. John Ratcliffe, we mentioned, director of the CIA. Senator Marco Rubio moved over to Secretary of State. Their big question is
that has not been confirmed.
That hasn't been confirmed, right?
No.
But the big question is, now that is out, people are starting to look around, saying who would be his replacement over in that Senate seat. Some are lobbying, believe it or not, for Lara Trump to be placed in that position. Others are thinking, well, DeSantis might just appoint himself in that position. And I thought, you know what, that might not be a bad idea, considering he's basically out of term after this next couple of years, because he'd be done being a governor. Mm-hmm. And they talked about his what do you call it?
Chief of staff?
His chief of staff moving into that position. What about his chief of staff being moved into the governor position? If he's as strong as they say he is.
Well, you couldn't do that.
Know.
That would have to be through The governor can appoint a senator, but he couldn't.
Can appoint a successor?
No.
Okay.
I don't believe so. I believe that'd have to go to an election.
All right. And a front runner over for the White House press secretary is Trump attorney Alina Habba. Believe it or not. I see you biting your lip. You're not exactly bowled over by that particular choice.
No.
Okay. Well, these are just some of the names that are out there that they're considering. And reportedly, and this is coming from
I'm biased to Scott Jennings. I don't know. I just think when you've sharpened your skills on the CNN set every night, I think that you're I don't know. I'm just a little biased towards Scott Jennings right now to be there. I think he would be fantastic.
Well, you know what? We might have some of that for you in just a little bit. We'll see some of Scott Jennings' highlights coming up a little bit later, so maybe that'll help sell him to the president if he catches this.
All right, we'll do some more news with Delgado when we get back right after this, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday. Pete Hegseth will be an excellent defense secretary. He's exactly who Trump needs to replace a broken culture of woke nonsense at DOD. He knows how to right the ship, and he's committed to serving the country. Fix the culture, plus recruiting, and the rest of the problems fix themselves. I'd say that's right on the money.
That is. I like most of his picks.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with the team in total. Like I said, not everybody you may not think is a home run, but I mean, in totality, right now, you can't.
Well, how many people thought J.D. Vance was a home run when he got in, and look how great he became, right? I was a little skeptic in the beginning. I was dead wrong, right? Look how good he became. Well, how good he will become, I should say, when they get sworn in. But so far, he's been fantastic. He's really been great supporting the president. I thought he did dynamite on the Rogan podcast. That podcast was brilliant, man. Really. Trump's was fantastic, but JD's was right there, right? Yeah, you could say that. It was, man. Well, they're also, similar, a little similar in age too. So they really kind of there was a good synergy between them two in the interviews as well, I thought. But man, he's something else. That JD, I like him a lot. Give me 12 years of this, Rick. I'm good. I'm good, baby. I'm good. 12 years.
12 years. You need
bring it home. 12 years, then I could. I don't know if I'll be able to retire, but at least I'll be a little closer. Lord willing, of course. Never take that for granted.
This is pretty funny. When the haters find out Trump has made Elon and Vivek the government efficiency board. Aaron, can you throw this up? Look at this.
Off this time. Look at that. It's in orbit.
Watch Elon here.
You see them both light up?
That's unreal.
That's unreal.
That is great. That is great.
That's literally genius. What is going on right now.
The head's exploding.
That is. 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a busy Tuesday night, November 12th. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Slick's doing sports. Delgado's doing news. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Just a couple of reminders about Pete Hegseth, who has now been nominated to be Trump's Secretary of Defense. Number one, I would say if you want to know kind of where Pete lies on some of this stuff, go check him out when he was on Sean Ryan's show, because they really get into the woods about the problems, how to fix it, what you would do. Pete actually talks about if a second Trump administration was to come back with a new Secretary of Defense. Little did he know that he was going to be the one, but I would check that out. But he's been on Real America's Voice. He was on with Jack Posobiec, talking about the problems of DEI and things that have infiltrated into the DOD. And here's a little bit of what Pete said back then when his book came out.
These things.
And that's why you saw most of the more aggressive actions of the Obama administration happen in the second half of the second term. He didn't do it right away because he knew institutionally he could not. So take something for like women in combat roles, for example, which rolled out in 2014 into 2015. That would have been an extremely controversial topic 8 years before that, in the middle of a shooting war, when there was a recognition that men and women are different, and that bone density and lung capacity and muscle mass are different, and adding the variable of women into all male units on the front lines might add some complicating factors. But by 2015, 2016, you had a Secretary of the Navy in Ray Mabus and other services, especially the Air Force and the Army. They just laid down. They didn't even try to fight. They said, okay, at least the Marine Corps conducted a study. And they studied 400 male Marines versus 300 male Marines and 100 female Marines. And no surprise, after months of study, the all-male unit massively outperformed the mixed gender unit. But what did the Secretary of the Navy do at that point? Because he knew who his handlers were. Threw the study out and said, I don't care. Integrate every single billet. And that's the type of mindset that takes hold everywhere. It's not about standards and lethality and accountability and meritocracy. It's about, what do my political handlers demand based on some societal objective that does not align with the most effective fighting force. And that's where they abdicate their responsibility. They abdicate their oath, but they've been well placed to be the types of people that already want to abdicate or are willing to, because they're cowards with stars on their shoulders, and they go along to get along. They want to make the next rank, and then they want their spot on the board of the defense contractor after that, and they want to be liked by the chattering class. So there's a careerism problem involved in all of it too. But it was set up by systematically creating, as you said, different types of incentives. And now here we are in Biden, and it's a straight off CRT, DEI, gender-based, right out of a Marxist playbook if you wanted to remake an institution.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's your new Secretary of Defense.
All right. I'm sold.
Exactly.
He had me at hello. Boom.
Exactly. yeah, you had me at hello. Exactly
100%.
Right. That's just one piece. Again, he did, I don't know, an hour or two with Sean Ryan. You want to learn more about your new Secretary of Defense? There you go. And so when you hear tonight from the loser class that says, oh, he doesn't have this, or he doesn't have that, or he's not qualified, he's not. Yeah. Put quotations around qualified, and remember that equals a professional at sucking up to Raytheon and kissing ass all over D.C. at all the parties, and expecting everybody to bow down at your feet. And as he described there, the woke mind culture has taken over all these people. And what did he call them? Cowards with stars on their shoulders?
Yep.
Most of them? That's pretty strong.
What I heard. Yeah.
That's a direct hit.
But it's not like he's not wrong.
No.
Right? He nails it right on the head. And that's what upsets people. Or at least the anointed class. Yeah. That upsets them.
I saw a tweet tonight that said people are texting me tonight going, what the F? Yeah, good. They should all be really uncomfortable tonight. Right. All of them. I don't care what side of the aisle they're on. They should all be uncomfortable if they're over there, because they should see what's coming.
And what's funny is that, remember, just not even 24 hours ago, they had their panties in a wad over Tom Homan. They're not even talking about Holman anymore because now they're freaking out about somebody like Pete Hegseth, which is great to see. Just keep them going. Just keep them going because they don't know what's coming next.
Of course, Pete Hegseth. Well, I mean, you could go to me from Lloyd Austin, and it would be almost. I mean, maybe it's still an upgrade, but Pete Hegseth is.
He's like more than you. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
He
Trump will never forget his name or where he works. Trust me. Any meetings that they're at together, or anything in public that they're at together, I can guarantee you, the president will not go, that guy who runs that outfit over there,
right? Like
Biden did in front of this guy. So, all right, let's do some more news. And here with that is Rick Delgado. What's going on?
Oh, man, I got a bunch to go through. Like this story, I don't know if you caught this, but James O'Keefe at O'Keefe Media, he just scored a gigantic victory in the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals against CNN in a defamation case. After 3 challenging years, thousands of miles traveled, he says, and nearly $1 million in legal fees, O'Keefe, Project Veritas founder, has secured a significant victory against CNN. The 11th Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that CNN misrepresented Project Veritas in 2021 and falsely claimed the organization was suspended from Twitter for promoting misinformation. It's a major win for O'Keefe, who initiated the case in pursuit of truth and accountability in journalism, only to find himself later sidelined by his own creation, Project Veritas. As a matter of fact, we have a cut from Mr. O'Keefe. This is cut number 1. Here he is talking about his legal victory and what it means.
I have just won in the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals in Georgia in a defamation lawsuit against CNN that I filed 3 years ago. Ed Carnes, circuit judge concurring, writes this, quote, "If you stay on the bench long enough, you see a lot of things. Still, I never thought I'd see a major news organization downplaying the importance of telling the truth in its broadcasts. But that is what CNN has done in this case. Through its lawyers, CNN has argued this court to adopt the position that under the law, it is no worse for a news organization to spread or promote misinformation than to truthfully disclose a person's address in a broadcast. We had to sue CNN. I had to go to the federal judge in Georgia. The federal judge had to rule against me. Not sure how that worked. Then I had to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not $1 million, going to the 11th Circuit, wait 2 years, and get this judgment in the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. We have a victory in the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals.
Yeah, which means now he can move forward with the next phase, which is discovery.
Well, let me advise Mr. O'Keefe tonight to go over to Right Scoop, and he might want to read one of the headline articles over there tonight because it's entitled "CNN to Unleash Sweeping Layoffs After Trump Election." So pretty soon there's going to be nothing. It's going to be nothing left.
He might walk away with CNN.
Well, he might. It looks like another leftist network is about to get hit in a bad way after Trump's election, and this time it's CNN, he reports. Earlier today, we told you that MSNBC's ratings have absolutely cratered as Comcast is considering selling the network. Now we learned that CNN's new CEO is about to unleash sweeping layoffs to try and save the quote-unquote network's flailing reputation. From the Daily Mail today, CNN is planning to wield the axe on some of its highest-paid staff after dismal election ratings. Boy, it's so hard to figure that out.
Didn't see that coming.
That cap off a disastrous period for the cable news network. According to an explosive new report from Puck, network executives will unleash sweeping layoffs in a bid to save the network's flailing reputation. It comes after the departure of Chris Wallace and amid reports that senior stars like Wolf Blitzer and Jake Tapper both have been denied raises. I honestly didn't know Wolf Blitzer was even still...
Yeah, he's still there.
He was still blitzing.
He's still blitzing, yes. Sometimes he gets confused with some of the other reindeer.
I'm not all right. It's a little early for him in the season yet.
Right, yeah. He's not ready for Christmas yet.
There's no mention of who may be on the chopping
stocking got stuffed. With a pink slip. Merry Blitzmas.
The highest paid stars. Now listen to this. The highest paid stars at CNN include Anderson Cooper. You know what he's paid a year at CNN?
Too much.
A lot. Probably what, $8 million?
No, more than that. $8 million.
Almost triple that.
Really?
20.
That's what you get paid.
My goodness.
$20 million a year. Aaron Burnett. I don't even. At gunpoint, I couldn't tell you what time Aaron Burnett's show is on. I couldn't tell you.
I think it's on during the day.
I could not tell you.
More people know when our show's on.
I think it's on during the day.
$6 million. She's getting paid.
$6 million.
And rising star Caitlin Collins. Man, she's just angry all the time. She's getting $3.
Ugh.
For what?
She's hard to look at.
Exactly.
In the next few months, I'm
that on a
told,
makeover.
CNN will implement another round of layoffs that will impact hundreds of employees across the organization, says Dylan Byers, who wrote Friday, referencing CNN's recent 100-person layoffs seen over the summer. A fresh round of firings, the insider said, will be more geared towards the production side of things. As a result, reporters and correspondents will be required to cover their slack, they said. So things are not...
I guess not. I guess they're getting fired for producing bad ratings.
Left-wing TV is doing as well as left-wing radio has always done, which doesn't exist.
Yeah.
There's no money in it. No advertisers, no listeners. That's why Joe Scarborough couldn't make it on radio, ended up at MSNBC. That's why all these people... And now they can't make it on TV because they're unwatchable.
Yeah. And you know what? It could have something to do with at least one of their current employees who might be also getting the axe, and Mr. Scott Jennings, one of your faves. This is cut number 8. This is just some of the hits from his recent appearances on CNN. Check this out. Cut 8A.
Democrats who say, oh, in private meetings, I've seen Joe Biden do cartwheels and handstands while doing trigonometry while solving all the nation's problems. We now know that every single person who said that has been lying to the American people. One day, Donald Trump couldn't hold a glass of water, and we had like every medical person coming out of the woodwork. Should we have the 25th Amendment? Joe Biden could barely walk up the stairs. I would argue.
No proof that tech companies colluded to do this. This is nonsense, and he knows it. No, I'm sorry.
There was a major institutional effort.
No, there was absolute dozens and dozens of them. Was the New York Post thrown off Twitter? They were, and then they... Scott, let me try again.
The story off Twitter.
Let me finish.
Literally, she's actually done. I mean, she's done the work. It's really hard to deal with you.
You would insult me? Good.
No.
If you called Kentucky Fried Chicken and said, I'd like to interview Colonel Sanders. Now, his face is on the bucket. He doesn't make the chicken anymore. In fact, he's not even alive anymore. This is what the Democrats are asking people to do. Vote for the face.
There you go. That's why I want to see him in the briefing room every day. Come on.
Maybe they got to clear out salary to pay him.
That's it, baby. Secret recipe.
Clear them all out. Get Scott over to the White House. Get Brian Stetler away from the old the donut line.
From the deep fryer.
Oh, God, that was funny. That was funny. Called Kentucky Fried Chicken and asked for Colonel Sanders. He doesn't make the chicken
his
anymore.
His face on the bucket.
He's not going to answer the phone.
He's not even alive.
Oh, God.
Live in the chat. I gotta get over to the chat. I haven't been in the chat yet. Hello, chatters. Let me jump into the Rumble. Slick has been in the chat.
Hello, chat. Hit the like, subscribe, thumbs up, whatever platform you're on.
Now I think he's drinking water from the sink.
YouTube, X, Rumble, Facebook. Audio's been bad tonight. Trey Davis says on Facebook, audio's been bad. What?
I don't know. Maybe there's a...
I mean, it's the same audio everywhere, so...
Maybe it's Facebook.
Rick Delgado for Secretary of Weed Burners. Yes.
Ah. Could have used that on my face last week.
Someone says the audio is delayed. Someone says my audio is fine. Someone says audio is great on Facebook. What is going on? What is going on?
Bubba NM says, thanks for the laughs, guys.
Damon for Speaker of the House. Please give it to me now. I would open up if I was Speaker of the House, I'd open up every meeting like this.
As you go to the next person.
Welcome to today's meeting.
Sailor.
I love a
parade. Like Dom DeLuise in at the end of Blazing Saddles. Some people out there know what I'm talking about. Damon doesn't.
Facebook audio sounds good to me on my end, so.
Okay.
It could be per user connection.
Yeah. Sure, it's not.
Heading over to the Twix chat.
To the hour, live from Studio 6B on a busy Tuesday night. World is still mostly freaking out about Pete Hegseth. Geraldo Rivera, though, bravo, Major Pete Hegseth, an inspired choice for Defense Secretary, awarded the Bronze Star. He's a combat veteran with service in Iraq and Afghanistan, and strongest in his support of our veterans. Much respect. There you go.
There you go.
See, Geraldo finds his way onto the...
He's looking for a job now.
I did see, I don't have it now in front of me, but I did the best thing I think I've seen about Pete Hegseth is somebody who said, "Oh, I know who it was." And let me instead of botching it, let me go over and actually pull it up because this is I think this is pretty right on the money. He says from our friends from Red State. The risks of picking Pete Hegseth to head the Pentagon are too great. I mean, we could end up with spy balloons flying over the country, disastrous pullouts from war zones, Russia invading Europe, Iran expanding, and recruitment crisis. Best go with another DOD insider. Yeah, which is exactly right. The hell are you talking about? He's not qualified. Look at what we've been dealing with.
Yeah, I think the Biden administration they prioritized not being qualified. So if that was their measure, like Joe Biden said, he only picked Kamala Harris because she was a black woman. So he thought, well, let's face it. And what did he get? He didn't get anybody really good, did he? And maybe he did that up and down the administration, which explains everything.
Yeah, graduate from Princeton. Graduate degree from Harvard, 20 years in the military, went to Iraq, went to Afghanistan.
And from what I understand, and I was reading this, I got off that page.
Running a nonprofit for veterans? Hello?
From what I understand, when he got back from his tour, he actually volunteered to go back. You know, which is you know, a lot of guys, they get back to like, I've seen enough, I'm good. No, he signed up and said, send me back. That's the kind of guy you want fighting for you.
Bonchi over at Red State says, by the way, since people are suddenly so worried about qualifications now tonight, how about someone tell me what Jake Sullivan's qualifications are to lead the country's national security policy? Spare us the qualification arguments and he's just a TV host arguments, because all the people saying that are literally just TV hosts. Shut up. Just please shut up. Right?
Yeah.
Please stop. All right, let's do some sports. 10 minutes till the hour. Sports brought to you by our friend Mike Lindell and MyPillow. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Slickster, what's going on?
All right, we got to do a little rodeo, Big D. It's been a few days since we did a rodeo, so one that wrapped up over the weekend in Las Vegas. It's the Eldorado Days Rodeo in Las Vegas, Nevada. Here we go. This is at the Core Arena. Bareback riding winner was Jaco Roper, 83.5 points on Big Bucks Rodeo's Kahlua. 1948 was the pickup there. Steer Wrestling, Tyke Kip, 3.7 seconds. Team roping at a tie. Cavis Drake and Denham Ross and Clay Ulrey and Tice McLeod. It's 5 seconds flat. Saddle Bronc, Reed Neely, 83 points on Big Buck Rodeos. Freckles, $2,087 pickup there. Tie down roping, Ryan Jarrett, 9.1 seconds. Barrel racing, Taylor Moykins, 17.12 tenths. Good time there, 18.22. Bull riding, Riley Barg, 86.5 points on Big Buck Rodeos. Night moves. A total payoff on the rodeo, $67,938. Well, all is well in Kansas City with the Chiefs football team. However, little trouble at home. The homes of Chiefs stars Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce burglarized hours apart. Warner Todd Houston of Breitbart. The homes of NFL stars Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce were both burglarized only hours apart last month. The Cass County Sheriff's Office reported that the burglary of Mahomes' sprawling estate in Belton, Missouri was reported around midnight on October 6th. Boy, it took a long time for that news to come out, huh? Yeah. Kelsey's home in Leawood, Kansas, was broken into during the early morning hours of October 7th, according to TMZ. It has not been reported what might have been stolen, if anything, but police logs seem to note that Kelsey didn't report the break-in until October 8th. Police sources say that the burglars were likely part of the same ring that has been targeting the area recently. Mahomes has owned the property since 2020 and recently finished building her home there. His home, actually. As for Kelsey, he recently moved into his house in the last few years, paying $6 million for the property. In July, the Kansas City Police Department announced the arrest of 8 people in a large theft ring. The robberies of the Chiefs star homes came on the tail of a string of break-ins around the city's downtown area, where 5 businesses were robbed at the end of October. So, yeah, wow, that's something. That breaking into those guys' houses, big money. I hope they didn't steal anything that Taylor Swift might have
Probably
left
the
there.
Swifties, I was going to say. Yeah.
It could have been. You never know. I don't want to accuse them, Big D. They'll be coming after us now. We don't want that. Well, it got a little crazy there with football weekend there. How about this one? Mississippi State trooper brutally punches fan who got too close to Lane Kiffin. Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart. The Ole Miss Rebels, that was your pick, Rick. That was the big win there. The Ole Miss Rebels shocked the college football watching world with their upset win over then third-ranked Georgia on Saturday, and the fans rushed the field to celebrate. However, one of those fans got too close to Rebels head coach Lane Kiffin, and he ate a punch from a state trooper for his trouble. As thousands of fans swarmed the field of Vaught Hemingway Stadium, the 2 Mississippi State troopers assigned to protect Kiffin faced a daunting task as they attempted to escort the coach through the sea of hysterical fans after shaking the hand of Georgia head coach Kirby Smart. At least one Ole Miss fan got too close to the coach and was hit with a fist by the long arm of the law. Yeah, don't get too close to the coaches there. But that place went absolutely bananas when they won that game. You see that? They're tearing down the old goalpost, and a lot of damage there, but big win for Ole Miss, one they ain't going to forget too soon, and hopefully they'll continue to evolve in the playoffs. And that's a wrap in sports, Big D. Back to you.
All right, Slick, very good. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. MyPillow, LFS6B is the promo code to use if you shop at MyPillow this holiday season. Jesse Kelly says, you know what would be hilarious? If Trump handled the media exactly like Biden did. No pressers, never answer questions. When you have to do a press conference, demand the questions ahead of time and only call on who you want. Just rub their commie faces in it, he says.
That would be funny, but there's no way he'd do that.
Mike Benz, who, if you follow on, he's been on this network 100 times on different shows. He's fantastic when it comes to all this national security stuff and what really is going on in the deep state. He says tonight, I've done 37 seconds of research, and I can comfortably say, congratulations, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. This is the 37 seconds he refers to.
Trump threatened the international order, Council on Foreign Relation, Washington, D.C., Brookings Institute types. They were never told their wars were stupid or their generals were losers or that NATO didn't step up, that China would unleash a virus, so let's call it the China virus and hold them to account for it. All of those things were a calling out of an international order that was failing and is continuing to fail and now has a great advocate in the regime currently in the White House. And Ukraine, it's basically a fight Donald Trump by fighting Putin through Zelensky war. They finally found a war they just absolutely love.
Yeah. So he says, that's enough. I'm on board with this guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Gotta love it.
Gotta love it. So, well, any other announcements tonight? I mean, they have just come hot and heavy.
Nothing that I see. But,
so what do we think about Vivek and Elon on heading up Doge?
Let me go check my account again.
Yeah, well, no, but I mean, like, what are they going to really be able to get done?
I think that could produce some great stuff, because let's face it, these guys are not government hacks. They haven't been in the swamp. They don't rely on. They don't need the government. They already know how to make money. They have plenty of it. They don't need any more. And to go there and go through and find efficiencies, which I believe they're both probably pretty good at. I think is going to be a very, very eye-opening experience for not only the American people, but for the losers who are taking this money and wasting it as they do.
Elon tweeted tonight, the Doge merch is going to be fire. All right, quick hour 1, hour 2 coming back right after this.
Patriot Forever 45.
Just throw my screen up, Aaron, and keep it up so I can just share a bunch of different stuff. This is funny. My reaction to every Trump pick.
All the superlatives.
That's so right. Everyone's been like that.
It's an hourly upset.
Just want to remind you now you have a guest at 9:30.
Okay. Who is it? Wellness company?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Dr. McCullough.
They've been advertising heavy.
Dr. McCullough? Okay. Senator Mike Lee says he's supporting Rick Scott for Senate GOP leadership after tonight's candidate forum. All three of the candidates laid out their vision to the other members. Rick Scott has offered concrete plans. Rick Scott's approach is also the most closely I'm assuming that's aligned with President Trump. Yep, aligned with and focused on helping President Trump enact his legislative agenda, which is supported by more than 75 million wholeheartedly in District Scott. Okay, so it looks like, let's hope at this point, if this is what we're left with, that Rick Scott's going to get this.
I can't wait to see what DC is going to look like in January, boy. Woo. Yeah. Fire.
Beth Williams on the YouTubes is asking, has Tulsi been named for anything?
Yeah, people have been asking for her.
Not yet.
No cash, no Tulsi.
Oh, yeah.
No press secretary. I mean, obviously, there's a lot more. Christy Noem tonight. I'm honored and humbled that President Trump has selected me to be the Secretary of Homeland Security. I look forward to working with Border Czar Tom Homan to make America safe again. With Donald Trump, we will secure our border, restore safety to the American community so families will have the opportunity to pursue the American dream.
He's surrounded with so many good people.
The Noem thing is kind of weird too, right?
Is it?
I mean, I don't know. Last time we saw her, she was doing like dentist commercials. Remember? She was doing those like spokesmen for like dentist places in South Dakota. And then we saw her at that Trump rally where the two people fainted. It was going to played music for like 40 minutes. She was on stage with them. Felt like that was the first time I saw her. And like, remember? You remember doing dentist commercials? People were like, what is up with this? After the book came out and the dog thing came out, then
I remember the dog thing and the book thing.
She was showing up doing dentist commercials.
Yeah,
like
she was in no man's lane.
And everybody was like, what the hell's going on with this woman?
Well, she's back in the action.
Vivek And
Desarrollo
Elon on day
sostenible,
one.
afuera. Ministerio de las Mujeres y Género y Diversidad, afuera. Ministerio de Obras Públicas,
This department, gone.
aunque te resistas. Ministerio de Ciencia, Tecnología e Innovación, afuera. Ministerio de Trabajo, Empleo y Seguridad Social, afuera. Ministerio de Educación.
All right, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Hour 2, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Slick's doing sports. Rick Delgado's doing the news. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always on a busy Tuesday night. Let's recap where we are in the Trump 47 administration cabinet. Starting to take shape, big shape. Mike Huckabee today announced as the ambassador to Israel, which I think is a fantastic appointment.
Yeah.
He is a fantastic guy. Don't know him personally, but seems like just an absolute, couldn't be nicer. Obviously, his relationship with Israel and Governor Huckabee Sanders, Sarah, that is, her relationship, and the way she speaks about going to Israel for the first time with her dad at about 12 years old and how it changed her life. Boy, couldn't imagine a better person working with Ambassador Friedman as well. Trump's obviously commitment to as most pro-Israel president we've ever had will reclaim that throne again. And I think Mike Huckabee is a great appointment. Elise Stefanik over at the UN we've talked about. Get her away from policy and get her away from votes. Put her over there. She's hardline, hard-nosed. Man, she's not going to take any nonsense.
Nope.
Lee Zeldin, EPA director. You can just imagine the slashing that he'll want to do once he gets in there and sees what's going on. Mm-hmm. Deregulation. Mike Waltz, former Green Beret, National Security Advisor. No funny business going on there. And what you see through all these picks, obviously, is Trump is and people will criticize this, and it's lunacy. Trump is really prioritizing loyalty. He wants people that are going to be loyal to what he wants to do. We've got 4 years. We're not going through what we went through in 2016. You've seen what I believe in. You know what I want to do. We've seen where all the snake oil salesmen lie for the last 4 years. We know what we want to fix. I don't want anybody that's going to be anywhere close to doing anything other than what we know I want to accomplish. There's going to be no other visions other than mine. And you're seeing that in the people he's picking. All people that he's comfortable with, all people that are going to be loyal to him, to his vision of peace through strength, his vision of America first, in relationships around the world, as far as policy. You look at the promises that 77, closer to 80, but it's all said and done, 77 million people will have voted for in this country. He wins the House, he wins the Senate, he wins the popular vote, won a lot of down races, pulled a lot of people across the finish line. He has an absolute mandate. So people saying, oh, he's picking all these, exactly. It's exactly what people voted for. He made the case for exactly what he wanted to do, and people said, yep. Yeah, these 4 years don't work for me. Let's go this direction. And he's picking people to fill out that vision. And he's picking strong, no-nonsense people. Tom Homan, border czar, we know what's incoming. Look out. Here's how people know how much incoming is coming from Tom Homan. The mayor of New York City today sounded like he wanted to be part of Tom Homan's staff. I'll be open to working with him to get the illegals out of New York City. Yeah. Pretty much what he said.
Yeah, and restored New York City to the way it should be.
Yeah. Don't tell me that Al Smith dinner that nothing happened there when Trump was talking to him. The light bulbs started to go off. Susie Wiles, Chief of Staff. Obviously, again, I think pretty much across the board, everybody thinks that she will serve the president well, as she has, been very close to him. Steve Witkoff today, Special Envoy to the Middle East. Bill McGinley, White House Counsel. John Radcliffe, Director of the CIA. I don't think you could do much better there. Of course, he was DNI in the first Trump administration.
Mm-hmm.
Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense. We talked a lot about that tonight. I have no interest in hearing the unqualified or anything about he's a TV host or he's not this or he's not that. We know exactly who Pete Hegseth is. We know exactly what he's done for this country, what he's willing to do, what he's done since he got out of the armed forces, everything he stands for, his love for country, there's no doubt, his love for President Trump and that vision. So that is took me a second when I saw it. I was like, what? But man, oh man, I think that is a phenomenal pick. Kristi Noem, Department of Homeland Security, the work with Homan. And then Elon and Vivek, we hear tonight, the Department of Government Efficiency. Now, whether we get $2 trillion of cuts, we'll see. But if you could get even $1 trillion over the next 10 years, I think that would be pretty phenomenal. So
it's a good start, yeah.
And we still got the biggest one to come, and that is Attorney General. And the word is that it possibly may be down to Missouri AG Bailey and Whitaker.
And I heard Ken Paxton's name kicked around.
I've heard Ken Paxton's name kicked around since Trump won, but I haven't heard it kicked around at all today.
Right. You know what?
I've heard those two possibly down to the last. That could be the decision.
And looking back, what Paxton has been through the last 4 or 6 years has been phenomenal, considering what the assault he's been under, and he just keeps on winning. So, you can't go wrong with him either.
If I remember, John Cornyn tweeted at Ken Paxton once, it's going to be hard to rerun for office from jail. This is the guy who now wants to be in charge of the Senate.
Right.
Remember that?
I remember.
I'm pretty sure that was the tweet. He tweeted something to him like, it's going to be hard to rerun or hard to run again from jail.
Yeah, all the swamp creatures, all the rhinos were coming after him as well.
Yeah.
Because they don't like people who actually do what they say they're going to do and follow through. And they do the right thing. My question is, Assistant Secretary for Health and Human Services, I believe that one is really important. Because right now,
I think Carson is up. I mean, isn't Dr. Ben Carson up for HHS?
Well, that would be for the secretary. I'm talking about the assistant secretary. Rachel Levine's spot. I wonder who they could possibly get to fill those gigantic male shoes.
Well, who do you have in mind?
I don't care. I just want this freak of nature out.
Well,
because let's
obviously.
face it, this person has no business being in the position that they're in. Again, nominated because of their mental incapacity.
Check the box.
Yeah, exactly. Brought into the administration.
Somebody on Twitter says tonight, I feel like I'm watching the NFL draft. I've never seen this level of public interest in cabinet picks. Usually it's just DC elite squabbling over who gets what. The rest of the country doesn't really care. Whatever's happening, it's not politics as usual. Something is changing. The people are awake. Boy, isn't that true?
Yeah.
So
who's on
true.
the clock now, as a matter of fact?
Yeah. There's a trade going on right now. Cash Patel is on the clock.
There's been a lot of talk about what this means for Vivek. Well, he 20 minutes ago, I guess, made it clear. He said, yes, this means I'm withdrawing myself from consideration for the pending Senate appointment in Ohio. Whoever Governor DeWine appoints to JD's seat has some big shoes to fill. I will help them however I can. Which is pretty interesting because people were like, well, what is this Doge thing going to be? Like, you guys get together like once a quarter?
No.
Right. To figure this out, and he'll probably still go be the senator, and that's really what he'll do. No.
I like the fact that he's not going to be in the Senate simply because I feel like somebody like him is good on the move. Too restricted in the Senate. You're a senator. These are your Senate things. Go do senator things, and that's about it. From this, he can move into any different department. Trump wants to say, you know what? We need help over here. Can you lend your hand over here, kind of thing. I like that flexibility of having Vivek moving about in different departments if they need him to.
Some more feedback on Pete Hegseth. One from your new
Kinda
national
like special teams.
What?
Kind of like special teams.
One of your new national security advisor, Mike Waltz, says the Pentagon is in need of real reform, and they're getting a leader who has the grit to make it happen. Congratulations to my friend Pete Hegseth, a combat-decorated veteran, and let's reestablish deterrence through America's strength. Richard Goldberg says, first I worked with Pete Hegseth 15 years ago. He is a true patriot. He is a great American, aligned on the views and values with the President of the United States and his other key senior national security nominees. Great instincts and great love for the troops. Sean Davis over at the Federalist, 20-year military veteran, combat veteran, two-time Brown Star recipient, Princeton undergrad, Harvard grad. You, meanwhile, he's talking to Brian Stetler, are a stupid potato head who's done nothing. And that, of course, is because the attack line tonight from these scum in the media is former Fox morning host.
Of course.
Gets new job.
Right.
We watched during the break that imbecile over at the MSDNC, Joy Reid, that bigot, just laughing, literally just laughing on air as she couldn't even welcome the guest. Just laughing at Pete Hegseth like it's a big joke. And again, I ask, what the hell has she ever done for the country? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. She's a repulsive human being. So that's the feedback. And again, we're still waiting on, obviously, if Andrew Bailey is going to be, the Missouri AG is going to be the AG, or if it's going to be Matt Whitaker and the return to what he took over as an intern post at the end. Not a great situation then, but sounds like people are pushing maybe for Bailey. I was disappointed not to even see some of the other names we discussed even in the running, or at least that they haven't come out. You know, the other interesting thing about what's going on down there, why is all this getting out?
That's a good question.
Why is all this getting out seemingly to CNN first? I seen them reporting a lot of it first. Is this on purpose to see if they've got it in, who the leakers are? Or they just want to get it out? Why would they give it to them first? What's going on? Any I can't believe I'm going to ask this. Any theories on what the hell's going on? Why
he's going to foil it.
Like even the Rubio thing now is still, I mean, as of tonight, I'm not on Truth right now. I'll go over there and check. But Rubio, we've been hearing for 24 hours, and that has not been confirmed.
Yeah, my theory is they want these out. They want the media to be scrambling and running around and with chickens without heads on. Because
why wouldn't he just put it on Truth then? That's what I'm saying. Why is somebody getting it before he's putting them on Truth?
I think it's by design. Like I said, I think he wants the media scrambling. He doesn't want to just give it to. Let's make them jump around, because everybody was jumping around and nobody saw Pete Hegseth coming.
No.
Just a theory. I think it's by design.
All right, 13 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. We'll do some sports news when we get back right after this.
Doge off. Oh man. You know how much that Call Her Daddy set cost?
Yeah, $100,000.
600.
600 grand?
Yes, way up there.
600 grand for that shit?
I think that's what they said.
I thought it was like 900.
Oh my god!
It was like some exorbitant amount of money to build a 1-day set.
Because she wouldn't fly to California.
Yeah, she has some set.
That is insane.
You have one read tonight.
Mm. Not Joy Reid.
Hey, I don't know if we're going to get a chance to play this. Can we play it in the break?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, there's a clip that I sent that I'm like, you know what? There's probably not a good chance of us playing it, but it's so funny. I thought it was hilarious. So even if we don't play it on air, we can play it in the break right now if you want.
What is the clip?
Go ahead.
It's just a clip. Cut number 9, Aaron. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know if you guys found this as funny as I did.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to know.
Go full screen.
Are we at a point now? Is everybody past the election? Are we at a point where we can talk about this wig yet? Are we at a point where we can discuss this?
I don't even know what I'm...
As the community of black people, are we at a point where we can start to delve into this, get under the surface of this, and figure out what happened? Who sent this child outside to be on TV with this wig on? Who did it?
With this wig on.
I just found that hilarious.
That is funny because she's like frozen. The screen's frozen. Send this child.
I wonder
out
what that
with
was.
this
Was
wig
that local TV or was
No,
one?
that was that was a local. I mean, it went on for like another.
He made it so serious, like it was like deep, something.
Like
Elon says tonight, all actions of the Department of Government Efficiency will be posted online for maximum transparency.
Wow.
Anytime the public thinks we are cutting something important or not cutting something wasteful, just let us know. We will. It's 17 past the hour. Sound like the blues. Let me talk to you about our friends at Patriot Mobile. For over 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. Standing behind their service and their values as a company, they're an example of putting the cause ahead of profits. And it's why Rav was proud to partner with them. Right now, you can get their Every Friday Matters special today. Patriot Mobile is giving away a brand new smartphone when you make the switch. Patriot Mobile offers exceptional nationwide coverage, giving you access to all 3 of the major networks without your dollars funding the left. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you're supporting free speech, religious freedom, and the sanctity of life, the Second Amendment, and more. Their 100% U.S.-based customer service team makes switching extremely easy. Keep your number, and for a limited time, get a free smartphone. Go to patriotmobile.com/RAV, patriotmobile.com/RAV, or call 972-PATRIOT and use promo code FRIDAY. Promo code FRIDAY. Again, that's a free smartphone. Offer is eligible only with the promo code FRIDAY. This is a limited time offer or until supplies run out. Terms and conditions apply. Join us. Make the switch today. PatriotMobile.com/RAV, PatriotMobile.com/RAV, or call 972-PATRIOT, 972-PATRIOT. Use promo code FRIDAY for that free smartphone giveaway. Their Every Friday Matters special. You can get it today. 972-PATRIOT. Your promo code to say is Friday for this free smartphone. Our friends at Patriot Mobile. All right, 18 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's do some sports. Slick's got it. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell, MyPillow. LFS6B is the code to use there. And, of course, if you do use our code at MyPillow throughout this holiday season, make sure you send your receipts into us at lfs6b@yahoo.com, showing that you used our code. And then you can request something free from our merch store at livefromstudio6b.com. Tell us your size, color, what shirt you want. T-shirts only, and we'll send it out to you. Slick, what's going on?
All right, big deal. Let's get to a little scoreboard again. NCAA Men's Division I basketball in action tonight. Georgia Tech leads Texas Southern 64-38, 11 to go there in the second half. Also, second half, we have Mississippi State 73-59 over Southeast Louisiana. 3 to go there in the second. 15 to go in the second. We got Baylor 65-40 over Sam Houston. Ole Miss 45-35 over South Alabama. And also in the second, Texas all over Chicago State 58-26. Earlier tonight, Kansas took care of business against Michigan State 77-69. That'd be the number one Kansas Jayhawks. South Carolina 80-54 over Towson. Georgia 90-77 over North Florida. And Eastern Kentucky fell to Clemson 75-62. NHL action, 10 minutes to go in the third period. MAGA Square Garden. Rangers right now trailing the Winnipeg Jets 4-3 in a good game there. Senators blanking the Maple Leafs 3-0 up in Toronto, 11 to go there in the third. End of two, the Devils lead the Panthers 2-1 down in Florida. The Bruins and Blues continue to have no score midway through the second period. 11 minutes to go in the first. Islanders and Oilers, no score. Flames, Canucks, Blue Jackets, Kraken, 10 p.m. respective puck drops out west. NBA action, good one. Hawks lead the Celtics 117-116 with just 5 seconds to go in the fourth quarter in the TD Garden. The Pistons 111-105 over the Heat, minute to go there in the fourth. Also in the fourth, just under 2 minutes, Magic 111, Hornets 84. Knicks and Sixers in a good one as well. 76-75. The Knicks with the 1 point edge, 44 seconds to go in the third. Joel Embiid back in action. Paul George with a big night, 25 points for the Sixers, finally showing up and paying dividends from that trade earlier in the year. The Bucks 54-43 over the Raptors at the half. Jazz and Sun just underway. Sun over the Jazz 11-7. This Michael Strahan story probably going nowhere, but kind of took a life on its own there yesterday. Michael Strahan snaps at reporter outside home as dumb national anthem controversy continues. This is awful announcing. It appears that if Michael Strahan was hoping to move past the dumb national anthem controversy swirling around him without making some kind of comment, that door may be closing. As Strahan was returning home Tuesday, he was approached by a DailyMail.com reporter filming him on their phone. The Fox NFL Sunday analyst is seen approaching while saying, "Don't come to my house," while repeating that he appears to grab the phone from the reporter. According to Daily Mail, he then tossed the phone into a bush and entered his townhouse with his girlfriend. The 52-year-old former New York Giants star has been mired in controversy since Sunday when he was briefly seen standing with his hands folded in front of him at Naval Base San Diego as the national anthem was played. Fox NFL Sunday was broadcasting live to celebrate Veterans Day. As Strahan was the only member of the Fox crew to not have their hand over his heart, he quickly caught the attention of certain critics who felt he was dishonoring the military and being disrespectful some way. But there is a side to this. While Strahan has not made public any comment, his social media post on Monday was about his father and hero, Major Gene W. Strahan Sr., who served 23 years in the Army. He also shared messages of appreciation and thanks to all veterans. I am not a big fan of Michael Strahan, never have been since a Dallas Cowboy fan. Do not appreciate his analogies or his quipes against the Cowboys, but I have to say, I think that was just a mistake. I certainly don't think he was protesting. He just may not have been thinking or using his head, and he may not have a heart, so he might not know where to place his hand. And that's a wrap in sports, Big D. Back to you.
I think everybody needs to be a little sensitive. Didn't his father serve
23 years? Yeah, he was a major.
I don't think he was.
Yeah, he spent a lot of time in Germany as a young man. He was overseas with his dad. He was an army brat, essentially.
Yeah, I didn't think much of that.
Nah, me neither.
All right, so very good sports brought to you by Mike Lindell, My Pillow. Elizabeth Warren on X tonight. I just saw it. And again, this is pretty much what they have. A Fox and Friends weekend co-host is not qualified to be the Secretary of Defense. I lead the Senate Military Personnel Panel. All three of my brothers served in uniform. I respect every one of our servicemen. Donald Trump's pick will make us less safe. Must be rejected. He's not qualified. And I said, you're not qualified to be an Indian, but here we are. Please go away. The hell have you ever done for the country? Nothing.
Meanwhile, Hegseth has served. I don't think she has.
No, she's done nothing.
Yeah, she's
done
done
nothing. She ever done? Nothing. Nothing. She lives off the public dole. She's gotten rich off the public dole. That's what she's done. She's taken. Take. All of them. Haven't given anything. Other than, they've given her time to be a senator. Yeah, she's gotten rich off of it. Her and her cronies while she sits there and complains about rich people. That's her gig. That's her shtick. Is to act like she complains about Jamie Dimon and and Elon Musk and all these people. Meanwhile, she's gotten filthy rich doing it. She doesn't point to herself and all her Massachusetts Nantucket friends where they have fundraisers. Everybody shows up in limos. This is the kind of crew she hangs around with. Oh, the fair share, Oh, shut up, moron. All right, let's do some news. And here with that is Rick Delgado. What's going on?
Well, I only got time for a couple quick clips I want to make sure I get to. I know we were talking about some of these appointments. Here's a reminder for Elizabeth Warren and all the naysayers on the left about the fire that's coming. Here's cut number 4. Tom Homan, once again, talking to members of the House. Check this out.
Please respect the chair's authority.
I respect the chair's authority, but the chair...
Mr. Homan!
You work for me. I'm a taxpayer.
Yeah.
I'm a taxpayer. You work for me.
Nice. And then he sits back.
The witness will suspend.
That's what we're talking about.
That was good stuff.
Somebody who kind of is not afraid to put these people in their place.
Who's she?
Man.
Please.
Day of reckoning. Oof,
Again, coming. What the hell have you ever done? Talk to him like that. Shut up.
Amazing. I got a couple more clips. I'll save them for the next break. And also this Dr. Fauci story, $15 million in taxpayer funds for private security?
What?
For Dr. Fauci? Yeah, we have that story. We'll get to that and a bunch more. Yeah, I got a ton. Well, we got a guest coming, right?
Yeah, 9:30.
Yeah.
Don't know what the question is?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Calipari left.
Yeah, Calipari's gone. He may make a lot of money. Woo.
There he is. Kid is going to be next.
Yeah.
He's going to be next.
What's the average in a game? Oh, the season just started.
It's only 2 games, yeah.
Yes. Duke's going to be a good team this year. They're going to be a force.
Chat. What's going on? Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, thumbs up, whatever you're watching on. We appreciate it. Farmer Brook. Exactly.
Farmer Brook.
Cooper flag, baby. I got to tune in to see Coop. That boy is the real deal. Again, all the haters, where are you going to be at? He ain't going to play. He ain't going to be that good. It's all talk. Yeah. Okay.
Jesus Perez told me to wave on YouTube. I'm in the YouTube, Big D.
Jesus on the YouTubes.
YouTube. Jesus.
Sweet Potato on X. What's going on? D on X. Jersey in the house. What's going on?
Is it Hey Zeus or is it Jesus?
I don't know.
Robert Downey Jr. for press secretary.
Who?
Dave on Excess.
Does he mean Kevin Downey?
He means Kevin Downey.
Because Robert Downey Jr. is kind of a raging liberal, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Or at least he got
maybe he meant Kevin Downey Jr.
Yeah, he had to be. KDJ.
Or maybe he just got paid to endorse Kamala Harris like all the others did.
Maybe it's Morton Downey.
Andy Kelly on X. Andy, we talked about...
Andy Kelly. Yeah.
Andy Kelly.
We talked about it. I don't know if you heard us.
Yeah,
last couple nights.
Andy did.
A.D. Kelly.
Thank you very much again.
Thank you. That was
very
great.
sweet.
This is awesome. I can't believe you got such a lifelike recreation of Damon on that. That's unbelievable. That's amazing. Right down to the detail. Look at that.
Yeah.
The only thing missing, you should have put him without boots because he doesn't really wear shoes. It's he's like Fred Flintstone.
No, I've been wearing a lot of shoes. I've been wearing a lot.
No, he's been wearing shoes lately.
Yeah, thank you, Slick. Thank you.
He had boots like that. He had shoes like that the other night during the election.
Let's see if Kash Patel. We got any updates from Trump tonight on Truth?
Trying to change the conversation?
No, I'm just don't want to miss anything.
We won't miss anything. We're watching.
Whoa. Okay.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Tuesday night, November 12th. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Slick's doing sports. Delgado's doing the news. Aaron and Fran holding it down. We'll get to, we haven't had any more picks from Trump 47 cabinet since we came on the air. We had a slew of them leading up to the 8 o'clock hour. We'll recap those before the end of the night, and I'm sure tomorrow will be another day full of I'm sure we're going to get the Attorney General tomorrow. Can't imagine it goes much more, but so we'll see. Please welcome back to the show the Chief Scientific Officer over at the Wellness Company. That is Dr. Peter McCullough. Dr. McCullough, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Thank you.
It's good to have you, as always. And speaking of Trump 47 putting together his cabinet, obviously after what was just it's amazing it's already been a week. I can't believe how fast this week went since the election. But, of course, having you on, I have to ask you about Make America Healthy Again and RFK's role and all that. Do you have a specific role that you'd like to see RFK take on? Where do you see him most beneficial to President Trump? Let's start there.
Well, I'm watching what looks like an NFL draft on steroids here. It just there's just one team selecting, and people just join the team. It's been tremendous. And, we'll have to see how things work out. Now, remember, in the public health sector, we take care of patients who are Democrat and Republican, the entire spectrum. So, we don't want public health to be potentially as political as some other areas in the cabinet. And so for that reason, for Health and Human Services, which is Medicare, Medicaid, NIH, CDC, NIH, FDA. We want somebody who's going to be able to work with people of both political leanings in those agencies, but at the same time, realize that the pandemic has called for a sweep of corruption out of these agencies, for sure, and then a sweep in terms of individuals and their philosophy, much more for public safety and much more, for the interests of the individual as opposed to the interests of big pharma. So I think RFK is going to play a big role. Now, he's a disruptive force, and whether or not a disruptive force takes a cabinet position or is a key advisor, we'll have to see. Other disruptive forces you can see, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy will be in like a new capacity. We'll probably find out very, very quickly. I'm behind whatever's being done right now because I think the whole nation feels that we're finally getting back on track.
Yeah, and to the point you said about watching, it's like an NFL draft. I read something earlier in the night. A girl said that same thing. She said, "I've never seen anything like this. It's like people are paying attention to this like it's the NFL draft, and what's going on here seems like it's almost not normal." But whatever you think about it, what you have to agree on is that people have woken up. People are awake and paying attention right now.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, obviously, if you took every kind of sector, if you take about border or you take about immigration and you talk to people, they'd say, okay, well, here's the first two things I want the president to do. So when it comes to Dr. McCullough and you look at this administration, are there two, if you could talk to President Trump, are there two things that you have at the top of your list that you'd like to see him tackle when it comes to, let's say, the pharmaceutical industry? Or what would you advise him on tackling first?
Well, I think a big ticket item certainly is the COVID-19 vaccines. Now, the current ones on the market, they're not FDA licensed. They're back to emergency use authorized. Biden ended the COVID-19 vaccine emergency years ago. Nobody in America thinks we have an emergency.
COVID-19 is like the common cold. So the vaccine boosters are not clinically indicated. They're not medically necessary. They've had great safety concerns with injuries, disabilities, and deaths. And sadly, the people who are, in a sense, forced to take them are children in order to fulfill the vaccine schedule and go to school in so many states. So I think the government should really convene leaders in academia. We certainly need Pfizer and Moderna, Novavax at the table, the CDC, NIH, FDA. We need, a safety review. This can be done even before the term starts. And then a really strong leader in healthcare to have everyone at the table understand they're coming off the market. We don't want anybody who's a stakeholder to come back and say, wait a minute, I wasn't involved in this. But if they all understand they're coming off the market for the reasons I outlined, I think America would be overjoyed. I know people in the healthcare field, we'd be thrilled to see them go. And then after that, people have, interested in vaccine safety have said that the liability shield should be removed from the 1986 Vaccine Injury Compensation Act, and so the companies would have to stand behind their products. McCullough Foundation just has a tweet out in the last few minutes about transgender and more data about transgender care increasing mortality. And we pulled in President Trump's former statement on this. He said that, listen, this is gone now, out of Medicare, Medicaid. We're not going to have we're not going to have children subjected to this. He's made some really strong statements. Down in Texas here, Attorney General Ken Paxton is actually now on his third doctor that he's suing for violating our ban on transgender. So I think adding protection for children, this theme of protect the population and public health, protecting children from the harms of transgender should be up there as well.
Getting back to the vaccines, I totally hear what you're saying, but I feel like that's one of the spots where the president, I haven't heard the president take a firm stand. I mean, he always talks about the vaccines in a way where he seemingly still talks about them in some positive notion, not necessarily with what the final product was that we're actually putting into people, but that we did a great job in doing this. We did a great job in getting them. We did a great job at cutting the red tape. We did a great job. We don't ever get the credit. Wouldn't the president have to somewhat pivot on his kind of former beliefs on that, which I haven't seen him likely to do to achieve what you're laying out?
Yeah, the one hint he dropped was on his interview with Cheryl Atkinson in the last month or two,
yes,
where, she, confronted him on the vaccines. And he said, listen, I'm not a doctor. There are people on both sides of this argument. And he said, but, more data will come to bear, certainly next year in 2025. And he may have been foreshadowing on having some very detailed, well put together, but rapid safety review that finally is enough to swing everybody and pull this off the market. So I don't think he has to unilaterally make the decision. He's not going to do it, but it'll be a data-driven decision. I think once all the stakeholders are at the table, it won't be hard for a good leader to say, listen, I know how badly everybody wanted these vaccines to work, but it just hasn't worked out. They have to get off the market.
We're speaking to Dr. Peter McCullough, of course, the Chief Scientific Officer over at the Wellness Company, where you can go twc.health/voice, twc.health/voice. Do you have any concerns between now and the inauguration day? Obviously, as we head into the end of the year, we're heading into flu season. How can people prepare for this time of year? And do you have any concerns between now for the American people between now and January 20th when we get a new administration?
Well, we're having a pretty mild fall so far. Rates of influenza, COVID-19, we're certainly not seeing surges in clinical practice. So far, so good. People should be prepared. They should use good oral and nasal hygiene. There's a variety of nasal sprays and gargles now that actually help people prevent colds. They should get in the habit of using them. We spent a lot of time on them in our Substack Courageous Discourse, xylitol-based products for prevention and then acute treatment, iodine-based products. But I think that's been the biggest change for me, is I don't wait until I start to get sick. I am using, a nasal spray or gargle preventively every day, and it's wonderful to be free of having colds. Wellness Company provides some great kits to handle, acute flu, COVID-19, other forms of respiratory illnesses.
Finally, Dr. McCullough, if President Trump Could President Trump by himself, or does he need Congress here? Do we need legislation? How do we tackle the idea or the problem of our reliancy on medications from overseas, from China, from other places? Is that something you think a president can tackle? How do we get off being so reliant on our prescription drug supply in that whole chain of command? How do we tackle that?
It doesn't take Congress. Under previous administrations, effectively the Chinese undercut American manufacturers. In Rosemary Gibson's book, China RX, she lays it all out there. China now controls the original ingredients and most of the drugs in the drug supply, even if they're put together in India, they are, coming from China. I think through HHS and the Department of Commerce, we can identify the drug supply as a national security issue and start to have, government, public-private partnerships in having, original manufacturing of key pharmaceuticals come back to the United States, particularly certain generic products that we rely on every day. Well more than 90% of all the drugs I prescribe in practice are generic. So it's not a big pharma issue. It's really a national security issue.
Very interesting. Dr. McCullough, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for all the great work you continue to do. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. Dr. Peter McCullough, Chief Scientific Officer at the Wellness Company, twc.health/voice, twc.health/voice. If you want to look at one of their prescription kits, like we say, whether you're going to the beach or you're going overseas, they've got one that's right for you. You want that ivermectin? Check them out, twc.health/voice. I took my ivermectin this morning. Let's do some more news. Rick Delgado's got it. What's going on?
All right. Well, the story that I alluded to earlier, coming off of Dr. Peter McCullough, we segue to the evil Dr. Anthony Fauci, who we find out now through some investigative reporting was granted a $15 million taxpayer-funded security as a private citizen. Granted. $15 million. That's I think they factored out like $20,000 a day in security. An agreement between the U.S. Marshal Service and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services provided Fauci protection from January 4th, 2023 to September 20th of 2024, according to FOIA documents obtained by independent journalist Jonathan Skatchel and opened the books. The cost covered a chauffeur. Of course, you need a chauffeur when you're Dr. Fauci. And a U.S. Marshal Service security detail. The U.S. Marshal Service, which operates under the U.S. Department of Justice, told the Daily Caller they provided the protective detail for Dr. Fauci from January 23 to August 24, a month less than indicated by the report. The caller also reached out to HHS, but surprisingly, HHS has not reached out back to them in time for this story to come out. The agreement was discovered in a memo of understanding between the agencies. The $15 million does not include expenses related to Fauci's private security from April 2020 to December 2022. The millions of dollars cover in part transportation, equipment for law enforcement, salaries, benefits for Fauci's security detail for the last year and a half. $15 million for Dr. Fauci for security.
I don't even know what to say about that.
I think they spent more on Fauci than they did on Trump's Secret Service security. Crazy. So yeah, it's just amazing. And again, you hope that stuff like this is the stuff that Elon and Vivek are going to take aim at and hopefully expose every time they find it.
All right, we'll wrap it up for a Tuesday night when we get back right after this.
talking about him like about a week ago, too. I was talking about him.
Throw my screen up, Aaron.
It's a good game.
What would you say you do here?
Well, look, I already told you. I deal with the goddamn customers so the engineers don't have to. I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that? What the hell is wrong with you people? You're fired. Get out of here.
There you go.
What would you say you do here?
Oh, God.
That's about how it's going to go down, too.
Got to work on his TPS reports.
Ooh. Oh, Aaron, throw my screen back up. I played this morning. I want to play it for all of you here in case you weren't with me this morning. It's my new favorite song.
Trump, everybody they know, they go vote for Donald Trump, that's the way it goes. All over America, all over the USA, they voted for Donald Trump, that's what I'm trying to say. Election is over, everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. Election is over, everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. I want to make America great again. Woo! I want to lower the taxes. I want to bring all American business back from overseas back to the USA, baby.
There we go.
Ooh, yeah. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. Election is over. Everybody can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. Election is over. Everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country.
There you go.
He should do the towel dance. If he threw in a little towel dance, he'd probably get a little more money. And Slick, by the way, I did find a clip, a compilation. People were doing the Trump dance, the towel dance.
Oh, did you?
Like, football players, college football players, like, kind of doing that.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, they're out there doing it.
Oh, there was a lot of them. I said that. There was a lot of celebrations, towel dance celebrations.
A lot of conservatives in GOP in the NFL, believe me.
They're not afraid anymore.
And in college football. Now they're not afraid anymore.
Nope.
You'll see it coming out more and more, which is a great thing. The MAGA hat, that was with Bosa. That was the beginning of you seeing this transformation, which is nice.
All right, 13th of the hour, live from Studio 6B. Elon is active tonight. He just tweeted out the new logo for the Department of Government Efficiency.
Does it have a dog in it? It does. Holy crap!
Department of Government Efficiency. There you go. Doge.
That is hilarious. I should have bought more.
That's the watch Doge.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
That's great.
All right, let's do some more sports news before we wrap it up.
Come
We'll start
on.
with sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use at MyPillow. Slick, what's going on?
All right, couple of quick scores to wrap up the night here. Devils 2-1 over the Panthers on the ice in Florida. 9 to go there in the third. End of 2. The Blues over the Bruins 2-0. Islanders and Oilers still no score. End of 1. Final Jets over the Rangers 6-3 in the Garden. Senators blanked the Maple Leafs 3-0. Final there. Flames and Canucks, Blue Jackets, and Kraken, 10 p.m. respective puck drop. Just in about 12 minutes, they'll be dropping the puck there. NBA action. Well, the Knicks are pulling away now. Joel Embiid ran out of gas tonight in his debut back for the 2024 season. Knicks 97, Sixers 84. 4 minutes to go there in the fourth. It's over. Then the Bucks over the Raptors 77-64. Minute to go there in the third. Suns 49-32 over the Jazz. 6 to go in the second. Finals, the Hawks edge the Celtics in the thriller, 117-116 in Boston. And the Pistons in OT top the Heat by 2, 123-121. Magic blow out the Hornets, 114-89. Mavs, Warriors, Timberwolves, Trailblazers, 10 p.m. both tip-offs, again, just in a few minutes. Let's see, get to one quick story. How about this one? Rays hurricane-damaged stadium can be fixed for $55 million, but it won't be ready until 2026. The price tag to fix a stadium the Rays want to replace will be $55 million, but we'll have to play somewhere else in the meantime. Liz Rocher of Yahoo Sports. The Tampa Bay Rays got good news Tuesday. Their home stadium, Tropicana Field, is structurally sound after taking major damage from Hurricane Milton last month. I don't know if you guys saw the footage of that with the stadium top getting ripped off there. In a 412-page report that somebody got paid a lot of money for, the city of St. Petersburg, Florida, detailed all of the damage done to the Trop by the high winds of Milton and determined that not only it is structurally sound, it can be fixed for around $55.7 million. The stadium will take quite some time to fix and won't be ready to host games until the start of the 2026 season. My understanding is they were trying to build a new stadium, so that kind of stinks because that stadium would certainly not be ready by 2026. And all right, Big D, that's a wrap in sports for Tuesday night. Back to you.
All right, Slick, thanks very much. Sports brought to you by MyPillow. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Let's do some more news. Rick Delgado's got it. What's going on?
All right. Well, I don't know if you saw this. I know we talked about it yesterday, that a fired FEMA employee who decided to make mention that they should be skipping any houses that displayed Donald Trump campaign boards or flags or what have you. Well, it turns out there's more to the story, Damon. The fired FEMA employee says instructions to skip these Trump homes were part of their avoidance policy. According to Fox News, the supervisor, her name, I had it here for a second. Where is it? Marnie Washington, the supervisor, was fired by FEMA after outrage erupted that she had instructed disaster relief workers canvassing Lake Placid, Florida, after Hurricane Milton to avoid homes advertising Trump. That was initially learned by the Daily Wire, who first reported that. Then on Saturday, FEMA's administrator of employee misconduct confirmed that she had been fired, that Washington had been fired, and a spokesperson for FEMA told Fox News the agency was deeply disturbed by her actions. Well, and they also said it was an isolated incident. Turns out it's not. According to Marnie Washington, who was on the Roland Martin Unfiltered podcast, she had this to say. This is cut number 2, talking about the policy of FEMA. Check this out.
I was notified after I demobbed. The next morning, they told me verbally I was fired, but they never provided me anything in writing stating that I was fired. They all alleged that these actions were made on my own recognizances and that it was for my own political advances. However, if you look at the record, there is what we call a community trend. And unfortunately, it just so happened that the political hostility that was encountered by my team, and I was on 2 different teams during this deployment, they just so happened to have the Trump campaign signage. FEMA always preaches avoidance first and then de-escalation. So this is not isolated. This is a colossal event of avoidance, not just in the state of Florida, but you will find avoidance in the Carolinas. Senior leadership will lie to you and tell you that they do not know. But if you ask the DSA crew leads and specialists what they are experiencing in the field, they will tell you. Demand for FEMA to give you those incident reports. They will substantiate what is happening to us in the field.
Yeah, so there you have it. It wasn't isolated to Florida. It's been something that they've been doing across all the states that seem to be affected by the hurricane. So
let me just say, if you want some, if you want a good chuckle tonight, just go to Elizabeth Warren's tweet from about an hour ago on Fox and Friends Weekend co-host is not qualified to be the Secretary of Defense. And just click on the tweet and spend your night reading the replies. It's worth it.
Priceless.
Will Kane from Fox says, that Fox and Friends Weekend host is an American hero. 3 deployments, 2 Bronze Stars. I don't know how many best-selling books, multiple. The latest one being on the war led by people like you on our warriors. You're a fake Indian. Sit the hell down.
Happy Thanksgiving. Put that in your pilgrim.
Liz Wheeler says, you wrote a recipe called powwow chicken. Maybe you should sit this one out.
Sounds like Plymouth Rock, Linden.
Alex says, you convince yourself that you are a Native American. Please sit down. Margot Cleveland over at The Federalist says, by framing veteran and double Bronze Star recipient Pete Hegseth as a quote-unquote weekend co-host, you prove you don't respect everyone and any one of our military and service members.
It's true.
And some of them get even nastier from that, and those are the ones you're really going to enjoy. Jimmy Fiala from Fox says, figures you, of all people, would want Trump to take the pick back and end up being an Indian giver.
Wow, nice.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
I haven't heard that one since I was 10.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, all right, what else in the news?
You probably called that.
You know, we don't have a lot of time for any in-depth news, so I do have a couple. Since we are ending on
when
some
do we
funny
get that
on some funnier stuff? How about this is Tyler Fisher, his rendition of Trump, and a few others from his administration, including RFK and Elon Musk, is cut number 3. Check this out.
What do you think Trump's going to do?
You know, what a great week we've had, and we're doing no tax on tips. We know that. We're doing no tax on overtime, and we're doing, because nobody's talking about this. This is what the American people want. We're doing no tax on McDonald's. We love McDonald's. No tax on nuggets. They said, sir, you can't do that. We have the Senate. We have the House. So we have a great cabinet. We have RFK, Secretary of Health,
as the new head chef of McDonald's. No, listen. Chicken nuggets, excuse me, chicken nuggets will actually be healthy. You'll lose weight from the fries. We have fresh Atlantic cod for the fish fillet.
And we're going to clean house with the new Secretary of Taking Out the Trash, Elon Musk.
His RFK is better than his Trump.
His RFK is very good.
His RFK is good.
His Trump,
I mean,
it's hard with that hat and that.
Sean Farish buries him in the Trump, and so does what's his name, the big time comedian. His Trump is great too.
His Trump is great.
Yeah.
So, I guess we're just about out of time.
Yeah.
We'll do some more fun stuff tomorrow, and more Scott.
And what?
I got more Scott Jennings for you tomorrow.
Okay, very good. Kevin Downey Jr. will be here as well. As always, we salute our military, active and active police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, everybody on the front lines protecting us. Congratulations to Pete Hegseth, an American hero. I think it's a great pick. Slick, thanks. Delgado, great job. Aaron Fran, great job as always. Most of all, thank you, the live from Studio 6B audience. We'll see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. right here, Real America's Voice, live from Studio 6B.